Hi everyone, welcome back to the ESCBubble channel. We are back with another review video, and in this one we are going to be talking about the 9 finalists of Melodi Grand Prix. And I hope it actually stays that way as well, because in the previous ones we had to edit the number of participants, like I don't know, Latvia. Um, Anyways, Melodi Grand Prix, very traditional Norwegian festival, has been going on since the 60s, I believe. What do you guys think of this year's edition?
Well, it's definitely all changed this year, obviously with the semi-finals now no longer a part of our January cold winter evenings, which is a shame. But if the thought was going straight to a final would improve the quality, I'm a little dubious on whether that we should deem a success or not. Obviously, we've got lots of returnees here, previous Eurovision winner, previous MGP winners. So it's a mixed bag. I do like some of the songs, and I'm looking forward to talking about the ones I do actually like.
What about the
Yeah,
ones you dislike?
oh,
Indeed.
kind of agree as well, Nick. I'm a bit underwhelmed. Sadly, I'm usually quite a big fan of Norway. I was actually in at the final in 2023 in Trondheim, which was a really strong selection of songs. Um, yeah, it just feels like we're not really got that quality across the board, I think, this year. Um, and if we did have a semi-final like we have had previously, I'm not sure how many of these actually would have qualified when I compare to what didn't qualify, the last couple of years. Um, I've listened to them again more recently. Maybe it was a little bit harsh initially, and there are a few that I think, oh, actually, okay, maybe it's got potential. But I think when your expectations with Norway are usually quite high, if they don't meet that, then it's a bit like, oh, so we'll see.
I mean, the impressions are quite mixed because usually Norwegian national final Melodi Grand Prix is the one which I kind of follow wholeheartedly, and especially given the fact that I do understand the language, it's even easier and even much more enjoyable with all of the things going on. This year, I mean, they already changed the number of participants. It should have been 10 of them, now it's 9. And then, because one withdrew, but then in the end, like the songs, we have the diversity, which I always appreciate, and it's interesting genre-wise and everything like that, but the quality of them, I would have liked a bit, let's say, a bit better songs. But anyways, it's quite enjoyable to have the lineup as it is, and it's interesting to see so many returnees and so many acts which are actually celebrating their Eurovision jubileums, which are happening this year. So it's going to be an interesting final for sure, and we will be enjoying the performances because that's the fun part. And also, what I like is the fact that it returned to Oslo, so it's going to be interesting to see it.
I just hope that they actually went for more quality songs rather than for the names, and especially those names that are returning after X amount of years, because just for purely based on that fact does not necessarily mean that like their song is going to be that competitive. And also there are a little bit too many names that are coming back to the competition this year and not as many new artists. So I don't see this competition as, let's say, that fresh, unfortunately. And I also do agree with Kyle when he said that most of these songs probably wouldn't make it to the final if we still had like 3 or 4 semis. So I feel a little bit disappointed, but there's still a couple of songs here that I enjoy. Let's dive in, guys, and then let's start with Nora Jabri and her song Sulale. Nick, what did you think about this one?
Well, we were just talking in general about songs that probably would have struggled to qualify for the final. I was so underwhelmed by this one. Actually had to go and listen to this 10 minutes before we came to record this because I'd forgotten exactly how it went. So on re-listen, obviously it's certainly pleasant enough. It's trying to obviously be some type of ethno bop, but the bop part of it is severely lacking. It doesn't really get going until the end, and by that point, I think most people have lost quite a lot of interest in it. It's just very generic, very just very basic. And don't get me wrong, I'm well known to love something generic and basic, but this was too generic and basic, even for me. So I think I was probably very generous with it in the first place. Maybe it'll come alive on stage. If it does, I'll eat my hat, and you can record me doing it.
I'll
Yeah,
gladly record that. Sorry, Kyle.
I was already telling you ruined it. Nick, I um I mean, it's there. Um, it's just very repetitive and does not get above third gear at all, really. It's like they've always forgotten to add like a layer of music onto it. I don't know, some bass or some just to give it more life. Um, it's it sits of my head after listening to it for about 30 seconds, but then after that it's gone. There's no moment of impact. If it's gonna have something special on stage, maybe, but you need to get people on board and want to vote for it. This just absolutely just passes me by. I'm sorry, and I don't think it's a very competitive entry either, sadly. Hopefully she can do a good vocal performance. But yeah, there must be better than this that she can do.
Let's score it out of 10 then. Nick.
Baffling, in retrospect, probably wrong 6.
I'm not as generous for this one. I'm going to give it a 4. Kyle?
Yeah, 4 from me as well.
Nikola?
As much as I enjoyed the songs from this genre last year, I am not a huge fan of this one, so it's going to be a 5.
That is 19 for Nora. Let's continue with Ladybug and Hot as Hell in Paradise. Nikola.
I mean, a very interesting mixture and a very interesting song, like music-wise and everything happening there. The lyrics could have been a bit better, if you ask me. But I mean, the energy which the song brings is okay, and it's something which I would be listening in other circumstances. And just I expected maybe more when I first started listening to it. I expected that it will be having something to I don't know, to be more enjoyable or just to grab me and grab my attention, but it just didn't do that much. And she seems like a really interesting artist and really energetic one. And I do believe that on the stage she can change a lot, but it needs to be seen what will happen in the show on Saturday.
I have to start by saying that I find it super interesting in the interview that you, Nikola, actually did with Ladybug, that this song has been selected for Melodi Grand Prix this year, like shortly after they announced the names of the contestants in Melodi Grand Prix 2024. So it's just very interesting, like how Steve Carlson was selecting songs like that much in advance, but I guess better ready sooner than later. Anyways, this song, like, it starts very like theatrical, very mystical, and I felt like it was drawing me in immediately. But it was when she started singing the eeny, meeny, miny, mo part, that is where the song for me started going a little bit down. And I feel that in a way that like they weren't sure, like whether they should go for something like, I don't know, something like Crypteria used to do, or to do just like some basic pop. So they just put like elements of both into this song, and for me, this just doesn't work. It's not bad, and like I'm very confident that Ladybug is going to do a fantastic stage performance, but the song has just like so many points that can be improved. And this also includes the hook of the song. It's a bit above average for me, but I think that's mostly because I feel like this song is really going to come alive on stage, not because of what I heard in the studio version. Out of 10 for this one, Nikola.
It's a 5 from me.
Nick.
Really dated and not in a great way. 5.
I'll give it a 6. Kyle.
And I'll bring it back down to a 5.
That's 21 for Ladybug. LLL are next with Parasite. Kyle.
Yeah, speaking that we've maybe had a little bit lack of energy from well, particularly the first one, I think this actually does smack you across the face a little bit with quite a bit of energy and attention, really. It kind of reminds me of a cross between a Robin song and it was bugging me which one it was, but it's the Timbaland Katy Perry, If We Ever Meet Again. There's something in the hook of the chorus that clicked with me that it sounded like that. It's having said all that, it's a bit much at times. I do worry about the productions being like, yeah, do that, do that, do that. And at the end of the song in particular, there's a lot of vocals you can hear in there and it's like, oh, which one is going to be the one that we get live, and is it going to sound like that? Yeah, it sounds like a big thing, and I hope it comes across on screen as it kind of does on studio, because I think it's actually relatively in this lineup it is okay.
I mean, the song itself is giving some crazy energy vibes and something to have it quite enjoyable because it's portraying somehow two or three different types of energies based on the fact that it's three of them singing on stage. So it's going to be amazing, I do believe. And I see huge potential performance-wise. The energy is, as I said, great, and I do like to listen to the beat of the song. In this selection, given the fact that we're having some of the other songs which are maybe not standing out so much, this one stands out a lot in a way. And yeah, I mean, it's quite fun and quite enjoyable to listen, but I would prefer if it's less, if it was less produced, as Kyle said.
Kyle, out of 10.
6.
Nikola?
6.
Nick?
I liked it a lot. 8.
Okay. 6 for me as well for this one. And that's 26, which puts them in the lead. Let's talk about the game performed by Nataleen, or Nataleen, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. She is one of the very few artists who is competing here for the first time, so props to her. For me, this is, in a way, like the love child of Run to the Hills of Clara Hammerström and Alessandro's Queen of Kings, but with a slight dark twist. And I hate to say it, but like I absolutely love it. You're the player and I'm the game. That's like one of my favorite lines of this entire Eurovision national final season. And there's also one other line in the song where she says, I'm gonna win. And I do agree with that as well, because in this lineup, she should definitely win. There is no other song in this competition that comes even close, at least to me. I feel that like this is the one to beat, and I just hope that she is going to be able to bring that power onto the stage, the power that this song actually deserves, and that has to be both vocally and visually. It's easily my favorite, and this is the one that I'm going to be looking out for the most.
So let's deal with some of the elephants in the room regarding the style of this, because it really gets under my skin. It's
Okay.
like a pet hate of mine. So firstly, of course, there's a writer on there from Run to the Hills. There's a writer on there from Queen of Kings. Neither of those two ladies, as fantastic as they were, invented the slap house genre. So binding that in with like the Viking-y sort of Norwegian influences, yes, they do have a cross similarity between them. But you know, Eurofans are so lazy; they will take one song, they'll think the other song that they've heard that sounds like it once, and that's it. It's dead to them because they've heard the song before that sounds like it. But you're absolutely right, Ervin. This song is fantastic, and you're right. I mean,
We agree.
when I agree with you. You're 100% on the ball on this one, Ervin. This is a great song. You know, she's playing up to the Alexandra references. They're doing little TikToks together, having a lot of fun. You know, she's the only one I've really seen actually doing any promo for her song. So, from that basis, you probably, could do very well. I think this would do quite well at Eurovision. It would certainly do better than that monstrosity that they sent last year. So, I'm hoping for a Nataleen win too.
There's me now trying to remember what did they send last year.
Got to.
Got
Oh, come on, that wasn't bad. But yeah, this should do better. Anyways, let's score the game out of 10. I'll kick this off with a 9. Kyle,
Yeah, I really do like it. 7.
Nikola,
It's a 7 from me.
Nick,
a 9 from me.
that's 32, and Nataleen is in the lead. Wig Wam are up next with Human Fire. Nikola.
What a way to celebrate the 20th anniversary of their representation at Eurovision Song Contest 2005. I mean, I'm glad to see them back. I like the music they're creating, and I like the genre, of course. And I do enjoy this one quite a lot because it's so like it's them. It's like you don't need to change something which is working good, and it's quite enjoyable, and it's so powerful, and the beat is nice, and I mean, one hell of a ride, and definitely the song which I'm kind of looking most forward to performance-wise, because they're known as someone who can definitely blow up the stage. So I hope that it's gonna be what's happening this Saturday.
If you asked me, gave me a list of Norwegian Eurovision artists I didn't want to return, Wig Wam would be very high near the top of the list. Hearing them once before was bad enough. Hearing them again, well. You made a good point actually to me, Ervin, yesterday about, I think they were the writers behind the Yawn song from a couple of years ago. That was actually a good song. This is, why do these artists wait many, many years to come back with something so meh? It's just a really uninteresting composition to me. It doesn't have the energy of In My Dreams. It just feels a bit sort of flat and lifeless. And I'm sorry, I can't match Nikola's enthusiasm on it, but I can't say I'm looking forward to watching this in any way at all.
Human Fire out of 10. Nikola.
9.
Nick.
5.
See, I'm a huge fan of Wig Wam, and I was so happy to see them back, but this is one of their weakest songs that they've ever written, and I'm not going to be streaming this song. For me, this is going to be a 5. Kyle?
Yeah, bring back Tisn't 5, please. It's only a 3.
And that is 22 for Wig Wam. We're halfway through, and Nataleen is still in the lead with 32 points, followed by LLL in second place, and Wig Wam are now in third. We're going to continue with Kyle Alessandro and Lighter. Kyle.
Yeah, great name, Kyle, just say. Yeah, no, I'm really intrigued to see
Is that
Kyle
an extra point or?
Obviously he was a member of the Umani Tsunami group that were in a couple of years ago, which I thought were good. They were really impactful and did a good performance. I think back then it was quite clear that he was the star. Certainly vocally, he was by far the best. He's still very young, but I'm glad to see he's here on his own. It reminds me a bit of Marcus and Martinus sort of impactful pop, as I would call it, or a bit of a K-pop tinge to it, I guess. I quite enjoy it. I think it's actually a very good package. I think he's going to have to really elevate and do a solid performance, but I think he really can do that. I think the one thing that lets it down annoys me is the metaphor of a lighter. I'm like, oh, really? But I can kind of overlook that a little bit because I think the overall song, the production, I think is very good on it. And I think it gives him the chance to shine and actually do a pretty solid performance. And I think this could be a potential winner with the one we mentioned before with Nataleen. I think it's between these two for me.
I mean, the lighter metaphor works as well as Sweet Like Teriyaki did in the Czech selection last year, but okay. I absolutely love Geronimo, and it's a song that I still sometimes listen to. And when the lineup was announced, along with Wig Wam, I was really happy to see him back in the competition as well. But then when I heard the song, I could not be more disappointed if I tried, because this song is, for me at least, just so basic, and the whole thing just felt so uninspired and uninspiring. And I don't really understand, nor did I try to understand so much what he's actually singing about. But anyways, again, here as well, quite a few unnecessary things added to the song, especially the violin, twice for a couple of seconds, towards the end of the song. It sounded very Reebok, and it sounded so out of place in this particular song. And the entire thing is just so, I don't know, wishy-washy, and it's just really not my cup of tea. But still, it's not the worst song in the competition. But yeah, it's not for me, and I hope this is not going to be up there for the win. Sorry, Kyle. A lighter out of 10, Kyle.
8.
So that's 7 plus 1 for the name. Okay, Nikola.
It's a 9.
Wow, Nick.
A good song, but I took 2 points off of the violin. Nobody needs a ride back reference. 6.
For me, this is only a 5. And that's 28 for Kyle, which puts him in second place right now. Sondrey is up next with Vagabond. Nikola.
I do think this is one of the best Sondrey songs because I really do enjoy the music and it kind of gives me the energy from the songs from the weekend. So like if we compare those two, it's kind of interesting, and I appreciate also the artwork and the cover as well, and the music is kind of catchy and hooky and everything like that. So definitely, it's one to, let's say, which I'm also looking forward for the performance as well. But still, even though I enjoy it, there is something which is missing. I don't know, like I mean, I'm enjoying it, but there is some empty space which is missing. It's kind of, I want to see more. Maybe that's the performance which will fill it in the gap. We will see.
I think you'll be waiting a long time. Sorry, Nicola. Yeah. I mean, there's something missing, all right. Just any form of life. It just like this is the Eurovision Song Contest. This is MGP, right? It's a visual performance. It's not let's have the best streaming song on a chill out playlist. Like it just feels so out of place being here. It just gives me nothing. I don't mind a chilled out song, but it's got to have a hook or some lasting memory. And for me, this is the definition of a song that literally just passes you by, and I could not remember it at all at the end. I hope he does well for himself, but I can't see how a live performance is going to change the track or the outcome. I think this is definitely a toilet break song. Sorry.
Sondrey's song out of 10. Nikola.
It's a 6.
Nick.
There's definitely missing something, an actual song for.
For me, this is a 5. Kyle.
3 again.
So harsh. 18 points for Sondrey, which puts him into last place. Damli is up next with last song. Nick.
I've had a bit of a slight conversion list. My first impression when I first listened to it was she came back for this. Was this from the cupboard from one of her previous attempts? Because I was really sort of baffled at the sort of obviously it was it's upbeat, but the energy was quite low. But then, I was actually talking to someone else from Bubble about it and suggested I had another listen. I listened to it again, and actually it started to, on repeat listens, it started to sort of sink into my head a bit. Now, obviously, on a first listen impact competition like a Eurovision selection, it's probably not the best thing for her to have a grower, but it's just a light, fun, disco referencing song that it's harmless. It's, I enjoy it. I added it to my playlist now because it's, I want to hear it again. So the video, if you go and watch it, it's just her, in a nightclub, just doing a really cheap PA and living her best life. So yeah, I like it. Should it go to Eurovision? No.
I like it as well, but I wouldn't go as far as putting it on my playlist. And I just find it funny that she's gonna open the show with a song called Last Song. But at the same time, I do get it why, because it's a decent enough disco sounding track, and we know that Tone can sing, we know that Tone can dance, and we know that she's going to give a good performance, so it's going to be a great opener in the end. The song as well, it's rather catchy, and this type of music definitely has its own audience, like Nick, for example. I'm unfortunately not really part of that audience, but in this lineup, I have to say that this is absolutely completely decent. It's quite good, and it's one of the better songs here. Out of 10 for last song, Nick.
A 7.
I thought you would give it more. I gave it a 7 as well. Kyle?
6.
Nikola?
I expected more, so it's a 6.
That is 26 points, which puts her in a tie for 3rd place. And last but not least, we have Bobbysocks with Joyful. Nick.
I was speechless when I first listened to this. I was convinced it had been recorded at the exact same time as Let It Swing. It's the production is just so of its time, and I'm astounded that somebody will send this as a competitive entry. But the overwhelming nostalgia of it I actually ended up quite enjoying by the end of the song. And, but it has a nice warmth and kindness to it. And I don't know, it just made me feel young again. And that's quite hard for me. So, well done, Bobbysocks. Congratulations for coming back. I know some people think it might win. I think that would probably be a very bad idea, Norway, but give them their flowers and pat them on the back, let them perform, and let them go back to the retirement home.
You make them sound like two prize donkeys or something. Pat them on the interesting that you said that. And my notes, Nick, I literally wrote could have been from 1985 because completely it's right out of that time. And initially I was like, oh, come on, guys, come on. But I kind of had the same realization of, you know what, it is in that theme in that genre, but it's doing it kind of all right, you know. I think there's been a lot better songs in this genre in Melodifestivalen over the last 10 years. Having said that, I think this could slot right in and be performed second in Sweden next door and be dumped out in fifth, you know. Yeah, bless them. I love them to bits. I love the 1985 song. I hadn't actually thought about the possibility of a nostalgia vote winning. Yeah, they could actually get quite a good public vote, really, actually. But I think Norwegians are a bit more savvy. They might like having them at their show, but I don't think they would think this is what we need in Eurovision 2025. Yeah, love them to bits, but I don't really think this is for me anymore. But
well, let's put that into points. Nick.
7 for my lovely prize donkeys.
For me, this is going to be a 5. Kyle?
I love them both. That was not meant with any ill intention. But it is a 3.
Nikola?
I do appreciate their enthusiasm, their energy, their willingness to return, and everything around them, and the fact that they love Ladybug and all the other songs which they're creating. But come on, a song in English, please. Why are you doing that? It's a 5 for me.
20 points for Bobbysocks. Nataleen is the favorite of the 4 of us as she scored 32 points and is the only act to score over 30. Kyle Alessandro is in second place with 28, and we have a tie for third place between LLL and Tone Damli as they score 26. Wig Wam complete our top 5. Who are you guys most looking forward to seeing this Saturday, and like who do you have, let's say, the highest expectations from?
I mean, the final will be exciting performance-wise. I'm believing that I think Wig Wam would be doing a lot, so I'm most excited for their performance because they're a powerhouse and they have huge energy. But also, if I may add, the Bobbysocks could be quite interesting to see because they're so nice and sweet and energetic. And I mean, both of the songs are celebrating some jubileum, so it's going to be interesting what are they having in store for the viewers.
Yeah, having said all that we have said, I am looking forward to seeing Bobbysocks. But I think for me, I think Nataleen's really the one that I'm looking forward to the most. Obviously, she's new to the competition. I don't really have much knowledge of her past history musically wise. And the song is very good, and I think probably is their best shot. We've collectively put it as our favorite, so you know what? I'm intrigued to see it live and see what she can do.
I'm also very excited, obviously, to see Nataleen. I think she's going to bring a great stage show. That the song can be elevated even further, if the performance is good. And it's just a very strong overall round package that will do pretty well at Eurovision. And obviously, my nostalgia, misted eyes is very much looking forward to seeing how Bobbysocks get onto the stage and perform.
I mean, for me, as I mentioned before as well, like the one to beat is definitely Nataleen. So she's the one that I'm most looking forward to seeing live. And apart from her, I will also be looking forward to seeing what Ladybug does on stage because I feel that the stage performance here can actually elevate the song a little bit more. So these are the 2. And like shortly after seeing these 2, I'll probably switch over to Sanremo anyways. So yeah. What do you guys think think? Who are you most looking forward to seeing in MGP, and who are your personal favorites? Let us know in the comment section below. And also subscribe to our channel to be up to date with all of our upcoming videos. There's going to be still a whole bunch of interviews with other national final artists and Eurovision artists. A couple of more review videos like this are going to be coming up soon, as well as some other material that we have preparing for you. Thank you guys for watching, and we're going to see you all very soon with our next video. Bye, everyone.